Hey there, Kangaroos, what's up? Yeah, that's right, I'm calling you Kangaroos again. Don't fix what ain't broke. Welcome back to World of Roocraft. We are still talking about the different zones on the Eastern Kingdom, and in this video I want to take you to the barren plains of Westfall. So let's stop wasting time with chatting and head right to the review. If you want to check out Westfall for yourself, you can find it right here, next to the Elven Forest. I don't really know what else to say about its location. This is a series about the Eastern Kingdoms, so it's needless to say that you will find it there. So let's take a look at Westfall's history. Before the Second War between the Horde and the Alliance, Westfall was considered as the breadbasket of Stormwind. It earned that title thanks to its fruitful soils and rich gold mines. But things changed after the Horde attacked. The lush and grassy plains turned barren, the local gold mines got infested with thieving kobolds, and only a few farmers remained to work on the land. A big factor to the downfall of Westfall was the presence of the Devious Brotherhood. If you want to know more about the Devious Brotherhood, you should check out my video on the human starting zone. I talk about them there a little bit too. After the Brotherhood tried to take over Elven Forest and failed, they made Westfall their new home. The Devious Brotherhood went on to terrorize the locals by destroying their property and demanding protection money. They also established their base of operations in the town of Boombrook. But where was Stormwind in all this? You see, after the Second War, Stormwind not only had money problems, but its military forces were spread too thin to properly retake Westfall from the Devious. So a group of volunteers, the People's Militia, stepped in and worked on bringing down the Devious Brotherhood. The militia eventually succeeded in invading the Devious secret hideout. This hideout was the Dead Mines, a place rumored to be haunted, hence the name. As you may guess, the Dead Mines is the dungeon located in Westfall. Don't worry, we will talk about it later too. Back to the topic at hand. The Devious used the mines to build a giant warship, the Juggernaut, and planned to attack Stormwind. The People's Militia fought back the Devious and confronted their leader, Edwin von Cleef. After von Cleef was defeated, the Devious Brotherhood fell apart and the People's Militia turned into the Westfall Brigade, a group dedicated to protecting the province. So let's jump ahead a few years to today. After Deathring destroyed parts of Stormwind during his return, a lot of citizens lost their homes and were forced to live on the streets. A lot of these people looked to Westfall for a new home. Westfall is now crowded with transients and the homeless people of Stormwind. Understandably, they are angry at the government for not providing enough help. Westfall was mostly unaffected by the cataclysm, except for a chasm opening up inland. This chasm is now spewing out dangerous tornadoes, which are ravaging the land. If you want to check out Westfall for yourself, there are two things you have to know. It's an alliance-only zone, with one minor exception that I will explain later. You will be able to start your adventure there once you reach level 10. If you started out in the Elven Forest, you will eventually receive a quest sending you there. Alternatively, you can open up your adventure guide and get the quest from there. If you want to get the full experience, there is one little quest you can get before heading to Westfall. At Hoka's camp in Elven Forest, you will find the deed to the Furlbrow's family farm, encouraging you to bring it back to the family. Now you're ready to head to Westfall and begin your adventure. Regardless if we picked up the Furlbrow's deed or not, our adventure starts close to the Elven Forest border. We stumble upon an active crime scene. Someone killed the Furlbrow family. We meet the royal investigator Lieutenant Horatio Lane and enjoy one of his glorious one-liners. Since we are the hero of the story, we promise Lane to find the culprit. We start our investigation by interviewing the nearby drifters and hobos. That's a nice touch, you can bribe them with money to get the information you need. Sadly, none of the witnesses is willing to help. It almost seems like they are afraid of something. A trail to the local knoll and, I don't even want to say it, Murloc gangs runs cold. We further our investigation by traveling to the nearby Furlbrow farm and talk to the hobo Tushu Lu. He doesn't know anything either, but helps us out by lending us his home, an old crate. That's great. He also points us into the direction of the nearby Jangalode mine. With the help of Lu's house, we spy on a meeting between the ogre Gluptok and a mysterious shadowy figure. The stranger is offering Gluptok an opportunity to get rich beyond his imagination. That sounds suspicious. Where can I sign on? We also get to eavesdrop on a gang of thugs and learn that they killed the Fallbrows on the behalf of a mysterious woman. Even though we found the Fallbrows murderers and killed them, we still have to figure out who had them killed. Before we can ask Two Shoot Lou for further advice, he gets shot and killed. To get behind this mystery, we travel to the Soldans' farmstead to talk to the Soldan family. The Soldans help out a lot of homeless people and may be able to help us. But the Soldans don't trust us very much. We gained their trust by helping them on the farm and fighting giant robots. And you can be proud of me. It took me a lot of restraint to not call them robots.
Did someone say robots?
Shut up, Boomer. Nobody remembers you. After all that, Farmer Soldan finally points us into the right direction. He tells us about his adoptive daughter Hope Soldan and her work at Sentinel Hill. Hope works closely with the homeless people of Westfall and may have overheard something about the Fallbrows murder. We meet Hope at the Sentinel Hill and gain her trust by feeding a bunch of homeless people. We also fend off an ongoing Gnoll attack. Doing so finally gives us a break in our case. An attack plan, taken from the Gnolls, leads us to their leader, Helix Gearbreaker. This brings us to another meeting between the strange shadowy figure and Gearbreaker himself. The conversation points us to Moonbrook, where we witness the stranger rallying the homeless people of Westfall. The stranger calls them to arms to assist her in a rebellion against Stormwind. But that's not all we find there. After making our way to the Dead Mines, we use some, let's say, mind-enhancing drugs to witness the last moments of Edwin von Cleef. Turns out that Edwin had a daughter, Vanessa, and Vanessa witnessed his gruesome death by the Alliance heroes. You may already guess the big twist in this story. As we travel back to Sentinel Hill to warn the Westfall Brigade about the revenge of the Hobos, Hope Soldan reveals herself as Edwin's daughter. With the help of a newly formed Devious Brotherhood, Vanessa overpowers the Westfall Brigade, frees their captive, the Morgan Admiral Ripsnarl, and turns Sentinel Hill into a recreation of Detroit. And that's actually an ingenious plan. Vanessa recruited the homeless people of Westfall to bolster her forces. We also learned that she had the Fallbrows killed. But for what reason? The Fallbrows knew her back when she was a kid and known as Vanessa. She had them killed because she was afraid of them recognizing her. And I don't know how you feel, but I'm pretty pissed at her. Not only is she trying to take over Westfall and usurping the king, she also used the wrong name. What kind of asshole uses a fake name? Even though it seems hopeless, there is a way to save Westfall. With a group of other adventurers, we travel to the Dead Mines to take out the Devious and stop them from attacking Stormwind with a rebuilt Juggernaut. After fighting Gluptok, Gearbreaker and Admiral Ripsnarl, we are about to fight the Devious Kingpin, who turns out to be a Murloc. The final boss of this dungeon is a Murloc. A freaking Murloc. I'm just gonna use this clip again. With the Devious Brotherhood destroyed once again, a new hope for peace blooms in Westfall. Well, not quite. Vanessa von Cleef managed to escape and is still plotting to overthrow the government, and the people in Westfall are still hungry and without homes. That's not the happy end I hoped for, but that's all you can do for the people of Westfall. Continuing on from this point, you can either travel to the nearby Duskwood or make your way to the Red Ridge Mountain. I can't really say something bad about Westfall. It doesn't take too long to progress through the storylines there, and I never got bored with the quests. Almost every quest leads to another clue in the Fallbrow murder mystery and keeps you going. Besides that, there are some fun side quests in Westfall. You can go on a treasure hunt or help a pirate ghost. If you're fighting for the Horde, you can also go on the treasure hunt. That's the exception I mentioned earlier. And if you're tired of traveling Westfall by foot, you can use the luxurious Hobo Airs. The name may sound fishy, but it could be worse. Imagine to have to go with United Airlines. That's an old ass joke. I should really spice up my memes. To go a little bit deeper into the story, I have to say that I find it really interesting how Blizzard touches on the political actions of the Alliance. Yeah, they won the Second and Third War, but at what price? They don't want or simply can't spend the money to support the most vulnerable people. And if you really think about it, their actions created the Devious Brotherhood. As I mentioned in my human review, they denied the Stonemason Guild the payment for rebuilding Stormwind. The guild had to resort to drastic measures to survive and had to form the Devious Brotherhood. Stormwind destroyed the Brotherhood and traumatized Vanessa Van Cleef by killing her father right in front of her. It's only natural that she wants revenge, and the current problems in Westfall are just playing into her hands. She does take the wrong actions, but you can understand why she does so. And that concludes our review on Westfall. Next time, we will head to the Ghostlands. If you enjoyed this review, let me know by hitting the like button or commenting on this video. If you feel especially generous, consider sharing this video or subscribing to the channel. This is Roo signing off. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Shut up, Boomer. Nobody likes you.